Hello and welcome. Today I'm in the Yorkshire Dales in Settle, and what I wanted to discuss with you is about how to make a sound more English. Now I have to be careful when I say that I want you to sound more English. According to Professor David Crystal, if you come from Germany, you should sound German. And if you come from Spain, when speaking English, you should sound Spanish. After all, Schwarzenegger's "I'll be back, baby" would not be the blockbuster great if he said it like Mr. Higgins from My Fair Lady. "I'll be back, baby." You don't have to carry a dictionary. So what I want to do is look at some various aspects of the English language that can help us sound more English, but at the same time help us understand English more clearly. So let's have a look at a few of them. Over many years of teaching, I've been asked by many students to help them, give them some advice on how to sound more English. And one of the best ways to sound more English is to learn one of the sounds that we have in the English language, which was particularly present in the English language, but not in other languages. So it's not in French, it's not in German, and it's certainly not in Polish. So unique is this sound to the English language that it actually has its own name, and it's called the schwa. And if I show you the symbol for it, many of you may have seen it. It looks a little bit like an upside down E. Now, it's a very soft sound and it's a very short sound. And what it does, it enables us to put our words together and to make them sound or make us say them in an easier way. So the sound is this. It's You can see it's very short and very soft. Now, sometimes we need to practice how to make this sound, and one of the best ways is to stand up and relax our whole body, and then lean forward, dangling our arms down, and imagine that someone just pats us in the stomach. And so what we do is we go, oh. Now, so unique is this sound, and so common is this sound, you've probably already come across it before without realizing. Many of you will know that the favorite food in England is fish and chips. However, we don't say fish and chips because it's too difficult. So what we do is we take the word and we make it smaller, and we add the schwa. And becomes on. And so what we have is fish and chips. Fish and chips. And it's common in many of the English words. This is why when English people say Polish names, it may sound strange to you. For example, you might be called Asha, but in English, what we'll do is we'll put the schwa on top of the a, and we'll change it from the a sound in ash to o. So Asha becomes Asha. My name is Simon. When Polish people say my name, they often say Simon. But it's not, because it has the schwa. So it's Simon. So master the schwa and you're already halfway to sounding more English. Okay, what I wanted to do is to look at a very common word within the English language and explain how the pronunciation of that word changes, because this word is often mispronounced by Polish speakers when speaking English. It's a three-letter word and it's very common, and the word is can. The problem with this word is that the pronunciation changes between the schwa, what we've just looked at, which is the sound and the ash sound, which is a. Let's look at the second one first. If we look at the ash sound, which is the phonetic symbol of this a, then we can say the word can. Now, can is used when it's at the beginning of a sentence or when it's at the end of a sentence. So if we think of a very simple sentence, for example, can you swim? Here it takes on the a sound because the word can is at the beginning of the sentence. If can is at the end of the sentence, it also has the same a sound. Can you swim? Yes, I can. However, when we put can in the middle of the sentence, it changes from the a sound to our old friend, the schwa. Oh. So, what we would say is, I can swim. Now, of course, when I say it slowly like that, it doesn't sound natural. And the whole point of the schwa is to sound natural and make it easier to say. So I'll say it a little bit quicker. I can swim. I can swim. And it's more like the word icon that you might find in a church of Mary and Jesus rather than can. So let's look at the three sentences. Can you swim? Yes, I can. I can swim. And just to complicate it that one stage further, when we make can negative, it again changes the pronunciation. And it's not an a, and it's not an but it's more of a ah. Now many Polish people find this hard, but it's really not so hard. For example, what is this? That's right, it's a car. And all we do is take the word car and add nt. Can't. Can't. I can't swim. So listen very carefully when I say the four different sentences and listen to the variation of a, and ah. Can you swim? Yes, I can. I can swim. No, I can't swim. Easy, isn't it? Two of the other problems that we have when speaking English as a Polish speaker is with the sounds th and dv. And we need to practice these because they're not natural in the Polish language. If we take the first sound, for example, th, as in thumb, what we have to do with our tongue is we have to move our tongue to our teeth and blow the air through it. Th, th. One of the problems is that when we do it as a Polish speaker speaking English, we sound a little bit strange or we sound a little bit stupid. But trust us, that's how us English speakers speak. And if we don't say it right, then we get a word such as 3, 1, 2, 3, and we say free. And we confuse the difference between 3 and free. So what we have to do is we have to practice that th sound. And the other one, which is very similar to the th, but it has a little bit of a th in it, so it has a th, as in mother. And what Polish people tend to do, instead of saying mother, is they say duh. And so it comes from mother to mudder, or this to dis, or that to dat. So remember, we must practice our th for thumb and th for mother. And finally, the last sound that I would like to look at is the letter or the sound R. Now in Polish, we have a very strong rolled R. Rolled R. We don't have this in English, although we do have it in Scottish. So when Scottish people are saying a word, they would tend to roll their R's. For Robin Redbreast, they would say Robin Redbreast. But in the English, we don't do that, and we have to try and soften it. So the word Sandra in Polish becomes Sandra. And if you notice, not only does the R become softer, but also the schwa comes in there. There's our old friend the schwa. So Sandra becomes Sandra. And computer becomes computer. So with a little bit of practice, taking your can, your con, your can't, your schwa, your th, your dth, and your r, practice that and you're nearly going to sound English. Good luck.